Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Her Drive podcast. If you're familiar with the show, welcome back. If you are new here, double thank you for being here. This is a passion project of mine. My name is Cynthia Kremblett. I started Her Drive in 2018 to tell the stories of women who are really on a mission to ask them the questions that so many want to know, like what drives them, what's their motivation, and what they see for the future of their purpose and for themselves. And in these conversations, we really get into heart-centered discussions, many that are emblazed with passion and deep topics that you may not be familiar with. So today, I'm sure will be like that and even more enriched. And I'd love to introduce you today to my guest, who is a woman whose life has moved from the halls of international law to the front lines of integrative healing. She's a French lawyer turned global health advocate who has spent more than 2 decades making holistic, science-based cancer care accessible, from international summits to a billboard lighting up Times Square. She's an award-winning author of Winning the War on Cancer, a book that has earned over 20 major awards and thousands of 5-star reviews. Her podcast, the Beljanski Cancer Talk Show, has guided listeners around the world towards informed, natural choices in healing and prevention. She currently serves as CEO of a global supplement company and since 1999 has led the Beljanski Foundation, a nonprofit driving forward research on non-toxic plant-based cancer solutions. Without further ado, hello, Sylvie Beljanski. Welcome to the Her Drive podcast. It's an honor to have you here today.
Hello, thank you for having me today.
Deeply honored. So I guess the first and foremost question is, where did all of this begin? What's the genesis of the story when people ask you what ignited your spark in cancer research and the holistic approach?
So I grew up in a family of scientists, 5 generations of scientists before me. And growing up, I knew one thing: I did not want to be a scientist. My parents had developed some natural plant extracts that were helping people with cancer, and our house was invaded all the time with people, sick people coming and crying, and then coming back, getting when they get better with flowers, chocolate. As a little brat growing up, as a teenager, I thought I'm never going to be involved, never. And I decided to go to law school. And I was working as a young foreign legal associate in a New York law firm when I learned that both of my parents had been arrested by the French government. What happened is that my father had developed those plant extracts, which working very well. And one day he was asked to help François Mitterrand, the former French president of the Republic, to come help when he was diagnosed with advanced prostate cancer. And the doctor had, done surgery, said the cancer has spread everywhere. He's not going to finish his second term. Terms were 7 years at the time. We have to give him some morphine and prepare the country for early elections. And Mitterrand had a mistress who knew a good doctor who had good results by using my father's products. That's how my father started to help the president. But my father was not at all a political person. He was absolutely not prepared to what happened. And what happened is that the pharmaceutical companies were infuriated to see that some natural products could do better than the synthetic drugs. The political class was infuriated that the power escaped them, and that the president actually was getting better, and that they was asking questions, and that when they thought they were able to seize power. And then exactly 9 months after Mitterrand finally passed away, they sent a SWAT team with machine guns, with dogs and helicopter over the circling over the laboratory to arrest my father, and they told him to stay in the laboratory instead of bringing him before a judge. They told him to stay in the laboratory, and they sent a gas. And my father, 2 months later, was diagnosed with advanced myeloid leukemia. So my first thing as a lawyer was to say, I'm going to get involved into my father's legal defense, take care of that, which I did. And I realized very quickly that the French government has absolutely no interest to bring a man to justice for anything. It was all about destroying evidence. Then I became like, evidence of what? Exactly. And I was also very disappointed that the judge would not give my father his day in court. They were delaying. So eventually, I took the case to the European Court of Human Rights, because you cannot let somebody rot, in despair, in a house arrest without ever giving him his day in court. And we won an unanimous court case, because the French government would rather lose than explain what they had done and why they had done it. However, once that was done, and after my father passed away, I quickly realized that the legal aspect was actually a little thing. What was most important was my father's legacy, and make sure that the products that had helped so many people would continue to be available. And I was shocked knowing how much they were working and efficient and helping people, to see in the press that my father was treated as a crook, his work was treated as hocus pocus. I was like, this is not right. And it is this drive, this is not right, that really set me off to the rest of the journey, which was a very, very easy decision to set up a foundation to continue the research. The very difficult research, the very difficult decision to stop working in a law firm, abandon my day job and my security, and dedicate myself full time to the foundation and to the company who makes the products that are needed for the research. But it was a difficult decision. I was eaten up by fear, and I felt guilty of not being good enough with this project, which was bigger than me, actually. I felt totally inadequate. I felt I should have listened to my parent, go to medical school or something like that. And but nevertheless, I was committed to do as much as I could do. I started a seminar here, invited as many French doctors that had been working with my father as I could. I got a handful of American doctors, and I started to create a team. And I told them, look, I am inadequate. I don't know anything about it, but I am relying on you. And together we are going to make this happen and continue to help people. And amazingly, it worked.
Wow. Just what an incredible story. And it seems like for so many of us, it is through great challenge and sometimes very traumatic incidences where we find our mission, we find our purpose, we get ignited into, as you said, a project that is bigger than just what one person can do, but where you need to surrender into the wisdom, the experience of others, and really collaborate to make effective
Yeah.
change.
Yeah,
Wow.
you really. So many people, knew that this project was important, and they came really out of their way to help me and support me. And uh, it has been, a family success, I have to say. And I mean by family, I mean extended people, circle of people who have really helped me along the way. Some are no longer with us, but they they have made a significant contribution, all of them.
Yeah, yeah, that's so beautiful. So, how has like naturopathic holistic cancer care changed from the time that you became involved in the foundation and this work from then until now?
At the beginning, there was a lot of people skeptical about integrative medicine. It was not well researched. People felt, there were people pushing some plants to make a few bucks here and there without any research behind it. And very few doctors were actually convinced, and that were saying, "Where is the research? Show me the research." So it was like, it is also important to understand that the economics behind the integrative medicine. There is very, very little economic incentive for natural products companies to invest in research. Why? Because they cannot make claims. Even if what they are saying is true, they cannot make claim. A dietary supplement is not supposed to prevent, diagnose anything. It is the FDA that has said that, and that's the way it is. So dietary supplement companies do not have actually their total free speech. It's very
Interesting.
limited.
I
So
see.
if there is, if they cannot say much, they are not going to invest into research to show more than they can say. And therefore no research is done. And then you have a vicious cycle where no research is done, so there is no credibility, so there is, because there is no money can be made, and then no research is done. So I said, well, we are going to do a foundation, a non-for-profit organization. We are going to try, based on my father's work, to convince people to give and fund research. And the foundation is allowed, that's its mission, to do research and to speak about the research. So we are going to speak on behalf of the foundation. And I believe that by investing so much in research and speaking, putting myself in front of people on stage and speaking about research and inviting people more competent than me to come on stage and speak about research and inviting the doctors to speak about the results, I helped a little bit, I believe, the advancement of integrative medicine. And what we can see nowadays is that integrative medicine is a $1 billion industry, and there is more and more research being done, and a number of seminars where doctors, conferences where doctors are presenting more and more research, not just ours, but now there are more and more research being done with natural products.
Yeah, what a powerful transition. I live here in Texas. Here in Texas, I live in the United States in Texas. I know you're in New York, and seems to be a great deal of like holistic care, integrative health. But I haven't heard much specifically around like cancer care. So is cancer care specifically what your work has been about, or have you branched out to different areas?
We are focused on cancer because, I mean, we have inherited of my father's body of work. He left us 133 peer-reviewed papers, and those plant extracts, which are incredible. They are able to make the difference between healthy cells and cancer cells, meaning they are able to recognize cancer cells wherever they are located, without toxicity and without side effects for healthy cells. So we have been able to work with those plant extracts on different organs. And we have had been able to have work done at Columbia University on prostate cancer, different stages of cancer, the synergy with chemotherapy, and now we are doing cancer stem cells, which are known to be resistant to chemotherapy and induce metastasis of cancer. And then, as Dr. Katz was presenting what was his results with my father's extracts, I was asked, but by a lady from Kansas University Medical Center, he's speaking about your extracts, right? That's fascinating. Do you have something for women? And I said, yes, the same thing, because it's not organ or gender specific. And we started to work with Kansas University Medical Center on ovarian cancer with a lot of success, also a very nice synergy with carboplatin and gemcitabine. And also we went on to work on pancreatic cancer. Again, the different stages, the synergy with chemotherapy. For ovarian cancer, we have total disparition of the acids, so and without any added toxicity. So the beautiful results, and we went also to have a study with pancreatic and ovarian cancer on cancer stem cells that was in vitro and in vivo in animal, and that was published. And now we are finishing a study on breast cancer stem cells, which the results are very, very exciting. 1 out of 6 women who has been diagnosed with cancer is at risk that the cancer will come back. And I can say that 6 out of 6 are afraid that cancer will come back. So if you have something natural, non-toxic, with no side effect that can help avoid the cancer to come back, I mean, you should know about it. That's what I have to say. You should.
Yes. I think it's just a given right by being born on this planet to know what these plant extracts and can do to help facilitate prevention, but also the healing. So
Absolutely.
yeah, and I feel very grateful that I was raised in a home with a mother who's relatively homeopathic, like plant forward as far as what we should work with. So it always kept me open to what is a more holistic approach, maybe looking at adaptogens and things like that, rather than just running to some sort of pharmaceutical solution, which tends to cause a lot of disharmony in other ways.
Absolutely. That, I mean, uh, as presenting the research, I'm so proud of the results. It has become the joy and the pride of my life, really. And I love it. It's the best moment, actually, when I'm on stage, and I see the people being impressed with the research. That absolutely love it. I am makes me proud.
Yes, absolutely. So, tapping into that vein, what are some of the most like shocking or heart elevating um, discoveries that your team has found through their research?
Well, I mean, the fact that we are able to address so many cancers and being so successful, having all those, I mean, I have seen that, when my father passed, I was approached at the funerals by so many people who told me, without your father, I would not have been able to walk my daughter down the aisle. I would not have never been able to play with my grandchildren, all those things. And now I have people coming back telling me, well, I started to take the product. Do you recognize me? And I was like, sorry. Well, I came to you 20 years ago and I was taking the products. And at the time I was with my chemotherapy. I told you there was no burn, so due to the radiotherapy, that was 20 years ago. So now I'm saying hello, and you're like, okay. And did I'm like, did you ever have any problem? Did the cancer came back? And people are saying no, never came back. So I'm trying to keep track of people who gave me testimonials 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and say, would you give us an update and share that? Yeah, I just, it's, to me, that's really, really significant moments when they tell me you have saved my life.
Absolutely. I mean, what better proof? I don't know that you could actually ask for. I mean, literally saving lives.
It has not been easy. So those past 30 years have not been easy. I mean, it's not easy to run a company, especially in another country. I came too late here. English will always be my second language and will all never be perfect. I was also, nevertheless, a young CEO with no background in the industry in which I was developing the company. I had no connections in the health industry here in the States. It has not been easy. But when I hear the testimonials, my feeling is it was all worth it.
Yeah.
All worth it.
Yeah. How beautiful to hear that from you. Well, for those who are tuning in who may be newly diagnosed, or there's a loved one in their life that's newly diagnosed, what are some things that you wish that they would or would want them to know about sort of traditional care versus going through an integrative cancer care approach?
So it's really important to know that a lot of doctors, even if you don't go to the hospital, a lot of practices have been purchased by big pharmaceutical groups, and the doctor is not pushing really an independent advice. His decision, his advice will be tainted by a lot of other things. Who has purchased his practice, what the insurance is going to cover. Is he enrolled in a clinical trial and he wants you to use one drug to the exception of anything else because he needs statistics, all those things that are unknown to you when you come to see a doctor. You have to know also that some resources are available to you for free. For example, on the website of the foundation, beljanski.org, you can find all the publications about the plant extracts of my father. You can download, print them, and you can start a conversation with your doctor. And then you will see if your doctor doesn't want to learn anything, doesn't want to read anything. So he says, this doesn't exist. You take my drug, period. And by the way, you can eat whatever you want and drink whatever you want. It will make no difference because just my drug is important. Uh, or if you have somebody who is willing to listen to you and to work with you for what is best for you. And it is important to know that there are some tests out there, for example, RGCC, where there is a possibility to draw a little bit of blood, send that to the laboratory. The laboratory is going to test the cancer cells circulating in your blood against a list of natural and synthetic drugs and will tell you what is the most efficient against your tumor cells. not any one-fits-all protocol that can be pushed at the hospital.
Oh, you're looking at me, you see my jaw drop. So you're saying that there is a place where people can send in their specific,
A little bit of blood
yeah,
that will be tested in vitro against a number of products that are fighting cancer. And so you will know exactly what your tumor is responding to, rather than going through chemotherapy and then learn after three months that the therapy you are failing the therapy. No, you are not failing the therapy. The therapy is failing you, and it was not at the beginning well adjusted to your cancer.
Oh my God. So again, I've never heard that that is a possibility. And you're saying that because the way that our medical system is set up here in the United States, and I imagine in other countries are like this as well, that most people are not being educated that that's an option. Instead, they're going,
Absolutely. So I would say the first thing, learn about the options that are available to you.
sure. Do you think that medical doctors are even aware of these options?
Integrative doctors, absolutely. They are extremely knowledgeable. And other doctors, conventional doctors, they are not interested in learning.
Sure, sure, yeah. I've seen a lot of that in like the allopathic space and in conversation. So, what do you think, or maybe what's the better question? Outside of the doctor's office, do you think there's any other space where there's some fear-based marketing that is doing harm, or even something as simple as just misinformation for those who have been diagnosed and going through cancer treatment? Outside of just don't do
Look,
this.
if you go to the internet, you will find good information and bad information. You will find everything on the internet. So yes, you have to do some research on your own, and unfortunately, that's the way it is. But a good health coach can be the right way to start, for not much less expensive than going to one, two, three doctors, and we can put you on the right direction at the beginning.
Got it. Yeah, because I'm thinking about any time that I've been sick or had an impairment of some kind, and it can be quite a struggle to be an advocate for yourself in systems that seem like they're out to get you, or they just want to pigeonhole you in a certain path that seems to be the easiest. But intuitively, I felt like, no, this is not right for me. So you're saying to these people who want to find a different path that the best thing for them to do would be to find a coach that can guide them into a healthier, more aligned path.
Yeah, you have also to understand and accept from the beginning that the odds are stacked against integrative medicine. It's not going to be reimbursed, covered by insurance. It's out of pocket. It's not easy, but it's a commitment.
Sure. And what do you think is, I mean, you've had a lot of different levels of exposure from what I've seen and heard from about you. And what do you think is changing the minds of so many people where they're turning away from traditional allopathic care and going into integrative? Do you think it's just, I don't say just, but from others' results?
Well, over the years, I have seen a lot of people with different kind of stories. Some people were saying, cancer run in my family. I have seen my mother, my grandmother going on the chemotherapy. I don't want, I mean, that to happen. It was terrible. I don't want that to happen to me. What can I do first to prevent cancer to come and reduce the risk of such an outcome for me? I have seen people saying, well, I've been diagnosed, I've been through chemotherapy, I am terrified it comes back. I don't want to go through that again. Um, and you have to respect that, and you have to offer them all the options that they may want to consider. You have also people saying, look, I am very scared. the doctor is giving me something, I believe in what the doctor is giving me, but if you have also something else and you can confirm that it's going to work in synergy with what the doctor is giving me, I want to take everything I can to put all the odds, good odds, in my side to make sure that I'm going to beat that thing. Uh, you see different kind of profiles of people who sometimes are shocked by what the doctor told them. There are some doctors who absolutely lack sensibility and good manners
Yes.
and would tell you it is this or you are going to pass away in 2 months. I have had people coming to me saying, I was supposed to die last month, but here I am and I would like to know what I can do. You have people who are looking just at the beginning for to reduce the side effects and are asking if there is something that they can take together with the chemotherapy to balance their their blood count, reduce the burns of radiotherapy. And every time we say yes, there are solutions. There are some natural solutions that can help you.
That's so beautiful and so helpful to hear, especially for those who've been diagnosed terminal with such a short period of time to enjoy their lives. Wow. And so the industry of like supplements seems to have some like snake oil salesmen, as the term goes, and then others that seem very in alignment, very effective. And I'm curious, how can someone discern some high quality, scientifically driven products from like marketing hype that's going to help them with whatever the reasons are that you just mentioned?
Well, marketing hype is not a good start. Because if a product needs so much marketing hype, that's probably because the investment has not been put in quality and in research behind it. And then once, an ingredient is extremely popular, you are learning later on that there were some fake or contaminated products that was distributed because just to meet the demand. And you don't want that. I think it is best to start with the research, what is really effective, and then look for a quality a company that has invested into the research. The best, rather than having cheaper copycats, is to really work with the companies that have provided the extracts for to do the research, and then well that's what I do when I present the research, and then my last slide I thank the sponsor who has provided the samples that have been used for the research, and so people have the name and are able to go directly to that source. But if you use another company, maybe it's going to be a very different extract and you will not have the same results.
Sure, sure. So I'd love to talk a little bit about the extracts themselves. Maybe, obviously, this is not medical advice for anyone, but maybe we could dive into what you have found, what the research has found, I should say, and
Yes.
what's most effective for different types of cancers. That would be so
Yeah,
fascinating to know.
absolutely. So there are different plant extracts that were developed by my father. Pau Pereira is coming from the Amazon rainforest. It's a big tree that was traditionally used for malaria. And my father was the first one to use that plant extracts also for cancer and also to fight viruses. Back in the 80s, he had the opportunity to have a clinical trial against AIDS, the AIDS virus, when there was no the products that are actually available. today, of course, but in the 80s, AIDS was something new and terrifying. And the results were extremely positive. He had people followed for 1 year, and he could see that their immune system was actually improving instead of going down. So a number of people since that have used also Pao Pereira to fight different kind of viruses, like Epstein-Barr or papillomavirus, which can, induce cancer also very successfully. So that's a very interesting plant extracts for that regard. There is also Revolfia vomitoria, which also has a large spectrum anti-cancer benefit, doesn't have the antiviral activity, but helps regulate hormones. So it can be very beneficial for a woman going through menopause, perimenopause, and also for those who have problems of fertility. And a good detox and 2 or 3 months of Revolfia vomitoria. I've had some gynecologists who have told me, and the baby is there. And I remember that at the time of my parents, my father had a wall of pictures of babies that he had helped number of couples to conceive when they had difficulties of conceiving. Then there is a golden ginkgo extract, which is completely different from the green ginkgo that we all know about. Sorry. And the golden ginkgo helps reduce the burns that can come with skin fibrosis after radiation. And the research that we have done at Kansas University Medical Center is also showing that this golden ginkgo extract is able to inhibit angiogenin. Angiogenin is the enzymes that help cancer cells to create new blood vessels. And so those blood vessels are needed to feed the cancer cells. They need a lot of energy to multiply and create those big tumors. And also they use those blood vessels to spread to other organs. So by inhibiting on those angiogenin, you are preventing them you make them starve and you prevent them to spread. Then there is a green tea that a mix, actually, I should say, of green teas that my father selected and seemed to be we have tested that against different other teas, Lipton, Kusmi, Bigelow, and seemed much more effective in vitro against a number of cancers than the other green teas. And then there is something which is not a plant extract, but is coming from a bacteria which is naturally present in the intestine, E. coli K12, and we purify totally the RNA of this bacteria to create little primers that are going to help the bone marrow to create white blood cells and platelets. So that's a very good support for all the people who need immune support and need to create a new generation of white blood cells and platelets because they've been destroyed by chemotherapy.
Wow, that's so beautiful and so fascinating. So grateful for Mother Earth and her gifts to us. I'm curious about your father's research. Like, how did he, or if you know, hopefully you do, like, how did he discover these different healing properties of these botanicals and plants?
Yes, so Mirko Beljanski was a PhD in molecular biology. He was working at the Pasteur Institute in Paris, France, and he was one of the first scientists to look at the environment as a cause for cancer. At the time, the discovery of Watson and Crick, the famous double helix, was still recent, And all the scientists around the world were thinking everything is going to be cured by a genetic research on genetics and developing genetic drugs that are going to be easily patentable. Everything is going to be new and we are going to make a lot of money. And my father said, if everything was genetic, the number of cancer would be stable. Or we see the number of cancer is rising. So there must be something else which is waking up the genes eventually, or silencing them, or waking them, turning on the genes. And he looked at how some natural compounds were able to increase or not the rate of synthesis of cancer cells. And and he came up with those plant extracts that he tested against a number of cancer cell lines, and again were able to inhibit selectively the development, the synthesis of cancer cells without effectiveness, any effect on healthy cells. Under the microscope, I mean, it's fascinating because those plant extracts happen to be naturally fluorescent. So you can see that they really target, invade cancerous cells, and that they stay outside of healthy cells. And you can see this light staying outside, not never penetrating, respecting the space of healthy cells. And I, without any scientific background, I was kind of blown away by that. And from a symbolic point of view, the fact that the light is coming to destroy what is bad and will respect what is already ready to live a normal life, a beautiful life. Uh, I thought that was beautiful.
Yes, yes, it is so beautiful. As you were saying that, I was having my own spiritual journey. Yeah, absolutely. The light coming in and being a warrior of healing and goodness. So, are there different principles that people can follow for prevention, or that it would be different from what they would go through as far as treatment?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's really important to educate yourself about what is toxic in your life, and I mean the food, the water, the air, everything. I mean, there are a number of steps that you have to take about cleaning up your house and making the right choice day after day. It's really not. It's not something you do for 1 week and then you are tired of it and then you go to to eat some bad stuff. I mean, it's an education, and it's a day after day you have to learn to embrace a healthy lifestyle, and that healthy lifestyle has also must also include a, a cleanup for the emotions, and the emotions are really really linked to disease. They can act as trigger just as much as anything chemical, absolutely, because they modify the chemistry of our body, and then they act like something really tangible, physical, and can modify our body, the equilibrium of our body, and can induce cancer. And then there are people who have the disease, and so you have to be honest. Do you want to get better or not? Some people don't want to get better. They love the attention they get, since that finally they get, because nobody was paying attention to them when they were doing okay. And now finally they are sick, and people are looking at them, and secretly they love the attention. They will never get better unless they realize that it's not the way to go if they want to live. it's a matter of honesty. You have to be honest about what you want, and be honest about the relationships in your life and how they affect you and your emotions. Some relationships are toxic, and you have to learn to get rid of them, just like any other toxicity, source of toxicity in your life. I mean, the husband, the mold, everything has to go sometimes. uh, it's it's what is really making you sick,
Yeah. I'm
and
so
it can be a very difficult count.
sure, of course. And I'm really happy that you touched on more than just the physical body and certain um, what we tend to relate to our health, like the emotional. I'm a spiritual person. I think there's some spiritual aspects, timeline sweeps that can come in there too. But so important to pay attention to emotions. And then the fact that some people do, they really, as you said, they really do want to receive attention
Yes,
in that way.
at the end of my conference, I keep saying, those little plant extracts are going to give you time. The big question is, what do you do with this time? And people have to use this time to really to educate themselves and make the choices that will work for them. But there is no right or wrong answer. And if they choose to be sick and not to get better, you have to respect that also, and that's absolutely their right of doing so.
Absolutely. Yeah, everyone's sovereign, whether they realize it or not. So I appreciate that perspective. And if, Sylvie, if you could wave a wand and totally reimagine, redesign, reconstruct the cancer care system, and it would be changed tomorrow, what would that perfect system in your mind look like?
Something where there is no so much fight between conventional and integrative medicine, where it's not treated as like two different worlds, where people in the natural world realm recognize more easily than some drugs in some conditions are necessary. And I would like to also to see some conventional doctors and learn more about natural solutions. Sometimes you don't need a hammer to really to kill a fly. I mean, you need to adjust the toxicity of the treatment to the danger linked to the disease, and maybe you can want to start with the least aggressive approach and most respectful approach for your patient. I would like to see uh, health insurances not only covering number of pharmaceutical drugs that are being pushed by pharmaceutical companies, but I understand that a lot of insurance companies are actually purchased or have the same shareholders as pharmaceutical companies. So if it was another economic system, where uh, what is reimbursed is really what is recommended by your doctor, would actually make, I think, a better world and a better outcome for the patients.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I've long contemplated the idea of a different different insurance system that's built for people who really want to go this more natural path. Yeah. And are there any breakthroughs or maybe some things that have been quiet lately that you see that will become more known as we move into the horizon in the next couple of years?
I do think this research, I mean, is going to get more known and better embraced by a number of people. I'm doing everything I can to share this information. We are organizing conferences also with doctors we are going now to organize our third conference, the Beljanski Integrative Cancer Conference, which is going to bring for 3 days a number of experts in the world of integrative medicine and cancer. They come up with different approach, the technicity, but they are all very reliable doctors and reliable sources for people who are in need of information. I believe that there will be more and more of those conferences, and access is going to information is going to become easier for people looking for solutions.
Perfect. And for those who are interested in tuning into more of your work, can you give an outline of your book so they can feel into the
Sure,
right?
sure. So my book is Winning the War on Cancer, the epic journey towards a natural cure. It has received a number of prizes because it reads like a novel. It's really the story of what happened to my father and how I started all over again. But I take the reader with me, and I share everything I learned along the way. So at the end of the book, they have read a novel, but they have also learned a lot about cancer and how to support themselves. The book also includes a number of protocols that were written by Dr. Markovich, who was a good friend of my father. Beyond that, there is a website of the foundation, beljanski.org, and there you will find all the publications of my father, the recent publications that we have obtained through the funding of the Beljanski Foundation. You will also find the new information about the new research programs that we are trying to fund. We are wrapping up breast cancer, and we are just started to a new cycle of research on prostate cancer stem cells, which is very, very important. And then on my website, sylviebeljanski.com, you will find also all the events I am speaking at, and everything I am trying to do.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And Sylvie, this work that you have really dedicated your life to seems to require a lot of stamina and a lot of heart. So I'm curious, are there any specific practices that you engage in, maybe daily, weekly, monthly, annually, that
I
work on
try to
you?
go. I have always tried to go to the gym as much as possible. Having physical activity has been really important to me, to release the stress and to stay in shape, to do everything I've been doing, and also for my mental sanity. I love to take long walks in nature as much as I can on weekends. I
Mm,
try to do that.
that's so beautiful. Well, Sylvie, the floor is yours. If there's anything you would like to share with the audience before we say our farewells, I want to hand that over to you.
Yeah, I would like. There is, I mean, if you are concerned with your health, there is hope, and just do the research. But for all the women who are starting a new business and feel that everything is stacked against them, it's not. I I have spent so many nights of insomnia. Uh, if you put really the questions out there, if you ask for help, it will come. And this, after having been around for 30 years, running the company, running the foundation, I can say help is on the way if you just only ask for it.
Thank you for that beautiful message. And just one last question. If you could go back in time and give a younger Sylvie some words of wisdom, to what age would you go and what would you say?
the, the time where I made this so difficult choice of giving up on being a lawyer, and I spent, I mean, going to law school was really a big effort, and it felt like an achievement, and I was proud to be a lawyer, and giving everything I knew and I believed in for something that felt elusive but bigger than me was not easy, but deeply I knew it was the right thing to do. And looking back, it was the best decision of my life.
Wow. Again, such a beautiful message to receive as an observer of what you would say to your younger self. Well, I have really enjoyed this deeply nourishing and mind expanding conversation. Sylvie, thank you so very much for being a
Thank you.
guest on Her Drive. Really deep honor. Yeah. And for
Thank
all
you
the
so
guests,
much for having me and giving me the opportunity to share with your audience.
absolutely. And to the audience, I invite you to please share this episode with anyone who you believe would derive some nourishment from what Sylvie and her foundation is doing. You can give it a like. That helps people really determine if this is something that's valuable of their wonderful time. So thank you all so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time. And Sylvie Beljanski, I really appreciated spending this hour with you.